So today we're going to be looking at LED lights, specifically for your rear end. Yeah, this kind of thing. Yeah. As far as the electrics go, they're a piece of cake to fit, but it's more about how you fit them on the bike. And maybe using a bit of imagination. Now, if you're really lazy, like the guys that built the Honda CB750 before I got hold of it, you can just zip tie it on the rear hoop. Yeah, what the hell, eh? Looks great. Or if you want to do it properly, and you've got the skills and the tools, you can do what my friend Marco at Plan B Moto did, and cut out a perfectly sized slot in the rear hoop to fit the LEDs inside of. I've never actually done this, although I'm sure it's relatively easy. As usual, he made a fine job of it. I'm sure you could do it simpler than that and achieve a similar effect. Anyway, I'll try and remember to leave a link in the description to that video so you can watch it in its entirety. It was actually on my second build, the Ducati Monster, where I initially came up with the first idea, and that was to use a block of clear Perspex and actually strap the LEDs to the Perspex, producing this pretty cool looking rear light. And then on my Suzuki GS550 I decided to take it a step further by using some recycled materials. Honestly, it's kind of by accident more than anything, but I do like reusing parts. Having got the air box off the Suzuki, I discovered the air filter itself, and rather than just throwing it away, I took a closer look. So we're going to be looking at a step-by-step on how to build something kind of cool. The box, the case, well, it would be useful to somebody who's restoring a GS550, potentially, but it's also a nice piece. So I'm going to keep this. This is not going on eBay. Yeah, but would you look at that? You know, remove the foam and there's a lovely, lovely piece. I see a backlight in the future, don't you? So, I really like the idea of making this into a backlight. It's a little bit tall, isn't it? Right? So, at the risk of ruining it completely, I might split it in half. And this is what I'm thinking. Wouldn't that look cool? Yeah? Brake light? Yeah, very nice. So, that's the general idea. I don't know how I'm going to mount it, and I'm probably going to cut it so I can do it again another time. Really can't really. Maybe I can put it in the vise. Yeah, maybe that bottom edge. Next up for Mr. Kawasaki is yes, the air filter. We are going to try and convert this to a backlight. So it's gently clamped in the vise because yeah, structurally it's quite solid, but it's all just very flimsy bits of metal. Anyway, we're going to cut it down the middle here, and then we're going to see what we're going to do the other end. Okay. Well, I would say that was relatively successful in terms of neatly cutting that in half. Only one minor disaster. And minor it was. Sorry about that. Hope you're not squeamish. Reminds me of a particularly weird maths teacher I had. Anyway. Two people will get that reference. Well, would you add them and eat it? I do, because it kind of just looked like it might. So this is one of those Perspex blocks I have a lot of, and it fits perfectly, absolutely perfectly. So what I'm thinking, cut it in half, one top, one bottom, whatever, because maybe some of this is going to be hidden. Certainly in the Suzuki, I think we're only going to have like a bottom area showing under that cowling, the rear cowling of the seat. So the beauty of it is that we can make two out of one, and maybe we just sandwich it, a little gap, and that'll just be doubly cool. Wow. I'm really excited about this. I get excited about silly little things like this. So the next thing to explore is how the hell we're going to mount it inside there, which is going to be tricky. So to achieve that, which would be that half a Perspex block in there, you can kind of see, hopefully you can see, it's kind of in line with the bottom edge of the seat. And the best place to mount it obviously is here, which has got loads of bloody holes in it already. We haven't even worked out how we're going to mount the seat, and the battery's just there to hold it upright, by the way. But obviously that's clearly different from that plane, yeah? So we're going to need something, and it's a long bloody way away. It's going to be bouncing around like nobody's business, isn't it? Yeah, especially with those air shocks. So, difficult. Something to ponder. But I'm thinking either one or two weird kind of Z brackets that come off that horrible checker plate, which I'm leaving there just for prosperity, because both, even though this is off the Honda, it's going on the Suzuki, and the Suzuki had a horrible checker plate too, so I think I should leave some horrible checker plate on there. It would be rude not to. I'm thinking something like this, you know, that kind of thing, but obviously not this thing, because this is a very specialised tool for taking off door handles on a 61 Bel Air. Yeah, compliments from my mate Kurt. He just happened to have one. That would work if it was longer. Well, it could be longer, but it kind of needs that much per chase, and it's an anti-tip bracket. Anyway, that's why you keep all this old shit, because sooner or later it comes in handy. Except not this time around. So that's roughly the size of a big-ish battery, and it's a little on the wide side. It's 6 inches, and that's why it won't quite sit back there. Anyway, let's put the seat on and see what that looks like, and where the light's going to end up, and see what that looks like. Nice, plenty of room for the battery. Good. Stage 1. Plenty of room for the backlight too. Not even close to the battery. Even if we had to lay the battery down the other way, I think we've got room. So that's interesting. So I think I shall go ahead and cut that tray. And then I'm going to work out... Ooh, well, I've just had another thought. How about that? Yes, my my old shower door thing. Aluminum extrusion. Works perfectly. Has exactly the right height and base and etc. Wow. This is all coming together rather too nicely, rather too smoothly. Something's got to go wrong, right? Right, let's get jobbing. So, slight change of plan on the back light, because I didn't want to cut the Perspex. 2 reasons. One, I'm not sure how, probably with a jigsaw, but I'm not sure how it would affect the actual light coming from it, the emissions. And 2, I don't need to, so I cut the back out of that air filter, and it's nicely wedged in there actually, so I can just fit the light on the back of it as per normal with a little bit of HVAC tape, and that's the job done. And once we got the battery tray and that mount in place, everything's going to be swimming. Okay, now what? Yes, this part of the puzzle. Yes, that part of the puzzle. How cool is that? How cool is that? Yeah, okay, let's see how that's going to fit in there. Well, the height of that is kind of perfect, but at the same time, yeah, that's where I'd ideally like it to end up, right on the edge of the cowling, whereas actually it ends up way back there. But that might work. It might work, because actually you kind of see more of it that way than just that bit. Right? But it's kind of a long way back. I don't know. Let's try that. At this point, what I do know is I'm going to have to drill 2 holes here and here, regardless. And I've got plenty of this stuff. And if I have to come up with something else anyway, so be it. It's just the perfect height. Alright, well, there we have it. All kind of jerry-rigged up. But yeah, there we go. That is very, very cool. Yeah. Alright, good. Yeah, unfortunately the contrast on the video isn't showing that mesh. It is now. Yeah, I mean, how cool is that? Oh, that's brilliant. Love it. So we're all bolted down. Yes, it is a nut and bolt restoration as opposed to a riveting one. But I'm a bit dumb because obviously that needs to be mounted in there too. We don't need to be drilling more holes than necessary, even for lightness' sake. So I need longer bolts here and use the same holes to mount that. Yes. So now we need to work out where that ends up on here in terms of those holes. And again, would you Adam and Eve it? All those different variations, yes, all them, and none of them were quite long enough. Luckily, I had two matching ones. I don't know, from some random piece of do-it-yourself furniture probably, that fitted perfectly. Thank God for keeping things. So now we just need to put that on with proper HVAC tape, and then that's ready to rock and roll. There we have it, complete. Another super cool, this time round retro high-tech backlight, compliments of Tink Customs. Yeah, I've done. I don't know why anyone else hadn't thought of this. It's just brilliant. Did anyone else notice the obvious problem? Yes. Even those longer ones that I found are not going to be long enough to go through that as well. Because you can see there ain't enough thread. Now, I've been rummaging through nuts and bolts and found a lot of this length. Look like they're out of a computer actually. I think they're out of a computer. A couple of those. Oh, I know, I'm wasting your life as well as mine. Well, apparently 7mm is the preferred size of the computer industry. Because I haven't got a wrench, I've got a 6 and an 8, but luckily I've got a socket. So the other problem is that on the other side they're Phillips. So thank God for this, eh? Yeah. Alright, we're getting there. Well, luckily it didn't have to be bustingly tight, so there we are, we're all ready to go. Down, of course, it wasn't level because there's a ridge at the back of the tray, its original thing, which I didn't cut out because I didn't want to. And yeah, so I had to put not one but two of those, and I had to do that by trial and error, obviously. So that's how many times is that? 6, 7 times, maybe 8. I've had this on and off. Oh, I know, the mounting procedure, device, etc. was a little bit convoluted, but I'm no good at welding and don't have the equipment. So I have to come up with these weird and wonderful ways of doing things. As I might have mentioned, I did the same thing pretty much on the Kawasaki. Fitted neatly under the tailpiece on that too, with that little upturned lip. Beautiful tailpiece on the Kawasaki. Anyway, mounting it was a lot simpler because it already had kind of two pieces coming down from the seat to which I could attach a strip and then just mount it to that. So that was a lot easier. And there's our new dual aspect rear light fitted LED strip. Let's see if it works. Using our trusted HVAC tape. Brilliant stuff. Very sticky, very durable. It's basically tinfoil with super sticky glue on. Only thing I hate about these LED strips is the ridiculously small wiring. Time for our little test battery. Yeah, wonderful little thing actually. $20, I think. We have running lights. Oops. Yeah, we have brake lights somewhere. There you go. Definitely brighter. Now I know, I was very fortunate to have that air filter and be able to turn it into something so cool. Well, I hope you agree. But not all of you have got those lying around, obviously, but you do have stuff lying around that you could repurpose, recycle. Like that tired old picture frame, for example. That's kind of cool. Oh, I got a drawer full of stuff. Like this is actually an alternator mount for a Ford truck, I think. I used one of those on the Enfield Gastra actually for the rear light, but I used that section of it. I've been known to cannibalise a coffee maker. So yeah, it's just a question of using your imagination really, and looking at things and seeing how they can be adapted. I hope you found the video interesting, if not inspiring, to look around and find bits of junk that you can turn into something cool. If you did and you thought it was any good, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe down here somewhere. And of course, encourage others to watch my lunacy.